Good morning, children. MCB Unit 2, Section C, the statue. So, MCB Unit 1, we have already covered the model millennia. So, this is the form in that unit, the statue. So, in this unit, you might have already noticed that the theme is related to art and its appreciation. So, now we can see a small poem by James Reeves about statue. In this PPT, I will be covering an activity and some information about the author, the poem, and its appreciation. Okay, so children, here in this slide, you can see three different frames. Okay, so in the first frame, you can see Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel statue. In the second frame, you can see the Statue of Liberty. And the third one, it is the Christ Redeemer's statue. Okay, so the first statue, it is in Gujarat, which is a statue of the Iron Man of India. And it is also called, the Statue of Unity. Okay, and the second one, as it is said, it is in US, and the Statue of Liberty itself. And it is said that this statue, US got this statue as a gift from France when they got independence. Okay, and the third one, it is the Redeemer, the Christ, and this is in Brazil, specifically Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. And this is the statue. This is the Statue of Peace. Okay, so Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel statue, it is the Statue of Unity. The second one is Statue of Liberty, and the third one is Statue of Peace. Okay, uh, and it is also said that this statue, it is of actually it is I mean, to maintain this statue, the third one, okay, the Statue of Peace, it is very difficult to maintain it, to get it repaired and everything. And it is called, like, no, it is very dangerous also, and many people have died also when they had gone to repair this statue, because it is on the top, it is situated on the top of the hill. Now we can see some information about the poet. James Reeves is the poet, and James Reeves is he was a British writer, and he is famous for his poetries and plays. Why? Because of his contribution to children's literature. Okay, so he had contributed much to children's literature, and most of and the literature of collected traditional songs, and his published books include poetry, stories, and anthologies. Anthologies means a collection of work for both adults and children. And these are some of his famous works, like The Natural Remedy, The Imprisoned Sea, The Talking Skull, Collected Poems of 1974, and The Wandering Moon, and other poems. Uh, so, children, now we can see the poem in detail. So this is a very short poem by James Reeves, where the poet is expressing his feelings when he sees a statue in the marketplace. And the statue is situated, or it is placed in a marketplace, and it is built on a high square base. And it is said that actually he does not know, uh, I mean, he does not have much details about the statue. Okay, so we can start with the poem. On a stone chair in the marketplace sits a stone gentleman with a stone face. So from the very two lines itself, we get an idea about the setting of the statue. That means the statue is placed in the marketplace, and the statue is of sits a stone gentleman. It is of a gentleman, and the statue is made up of stone, and the face with a stone face. And here you can see that the poet has used this word, I mean, given more emphasis on stone in order to show that the statue is made up of stone. And next line, see, he is great, he is good, he is old as old. How many years I have not been told. So I refers to speaker here, or the poet here, and he is telling that the statue of stone, the statue of this gentleman, he is great and he is good also. But about the age of the statue, that he doesn't know. Okay, so and in the next line, great things he did a great while ago, and what they were, I do not know. So here it says that he might have done some great things. He might have done something very important in life. Might be because of that his statue is still there, right? But he says that, but what all things that he has done that I do not know. So here it is like the speaker does not know about the age of the statue, and even he does not know about the great things done by this statue also. Now, in the next line, you can see the expressions on the statue, like how the statue looks like and everything. So here, but solemn and sad is his great square face. So his face is also said like the shape of his face is like square face, and it is said that a sad kind of look is there in his face. Solemn means a kind of serious kind of a look. Solemn and sad is his great square face. As he sits high up on his square stone base, uh, okay, so it is said that square stone base is it is talking about that base. Okay, that base where the statue is placed, and which is already mentioned. It is square in shape, and it is also made up of stone. And his face is carries the look of kind of sad kind of look or a solemn kind of look. Though he carries the expression of sadness, he sits high up. That means he has got a kind of proud feeling. Day after day he sits just so. That means his expression is not changing. It is throughout, same throughout. Throughout the year or throughout the seasons, his expression is same. Day after day he sits just so, with some words in a foreign tongue below. Foreign tongue in below in the sense like that in the square base some inscription. Inscription means some writing has been given about the statue. So he says like with some words in a foreign tongue below. Okay. So as he is not speaking, the poet says that the language or the writings on the base that is speaking here. So day after day he sits just so with some words in a foreign tongue below. That means something that is written in foreign tongue. That like an inscription at the square base is in some foreign tongue. Actually, the poet is also not able to read that because it is in some foreign tongue. Okay, there is some inscription on that square base. Whether the wind blows warm or cold, his stone clothes alter and never fold. Okay, so whether it is windy day or whether it is cold or whether it is sunny day, the poet says that his clothes, again he says stone clothes. Okay, so again to give that emphasis, his stone clothes, it is not going to change. It is not going to fold because he is sitting as it is. So here in the slide, you can see like that I have marked it like A, B, B, C, C. So these are the rhyming schemes. Rhyming words you might be knowing. So like place, face. So we will be marking rhyming scheme like when it is the same kind of sounds, we will be putting the same letter. Like see, place. Okay, so it is A sound. I have written it over there. So like place, face. It is also said like same, right? So both are of same kind of sound. So I can give A. Then when next one is old, told. Okay, so third and fourth line I can mark it as B. Same just like that of told again as a B. Ago, no. So again O sound. So C. Again you can see so the same pattern you can see. So this in the first stanza you can see like A, B, B, C. And the second stanza is also of the same pattern like A. Okay, sorry. Yes, like face, base, okay, A, and here it is so and below. So it is of C, and then B, like cold and fold. Okay. So here you can see like he talks about how that person is sitting. The statue is placed actually. One stone hand he rests on his knee. With the other stone hand he points at me. Oh, why does he look at me in just that way? I'm afraid to go and afraid to stay. Stone gentleman, what have you got to say? So here the poet is feeling like this statue has got something to say and he is not able to speak. The poet is feeling like that, or the speaker is feeling like that. So the speaker says that his one stone hand it is resting on his knee and the other stone hand is pointing at me. That means he might be some kind of very important kind of person or something. who is pointing his finger on you. Okay, that means as if you have done something wrong. So now in the next last three lines, you can see the expression of the speaker when he says like, why are you looking at me that way? Okay, so and he feels like he does not feel like going, or he does not feel like staying there also. He's scared. I'm afraid to go and afraid to stay. Stone gentleman, what have you got to say? So he's asking. The poem ends with a question. He's asking the statue whether you have got something to say. So here you can see like me again like that, A, and way, stay, D. So this kind of pattern, rhyme scheme. So children, now you need to know how to appreciate a poem. So we have already started with, in the literature textbook we have started with different figures of speech or the literary devices for like imagery, irony, and all these things we have already started, and like the different techniques used by the writers to make the writing more interesting. So like that, alliteration is another technique or literary device, just like that whatever things that you have learned, like imagery, metaphor, simile, and all. So this is also a literary device which is used by the writers in order to attract the readers actually. To describe, so we can see what an alliteration is. Alliteration is a term to describe a literary device in which a series of words begin with the same consonant sound. Okay, so the famous example is she sells seashells by the seashore. So most of the tongue twisters we can see that you can see the use of alliteration, because you can see some words are placed in that sequence. Okay, like near to each and near words are placed in that order where it will be beginning with the same consonant. Like sells sea shells by the seashore. So like she, after that sound. So these things are repeated here. Sheep should sleep in a shed. Okay, so here also again you can see like that sh and s sound, it is coming like that series of words, and it is beginning with the same consonant sound, like cells, sea shells. Okay, she shells, cells, and sea. So the same consonant sounds are repeated. And here also like sheep, sure sound, and should, sure sound, and sleep uh, again. So these like a sheep should sleep in a shed. Now how to identify alliteration? To identify alliteration in a poem, look for pair or group of words that begin with the same phonetic sound. Words may begin with identical letters or with letter combinations that create similar sound, like nest and no. So it can be like, how to identify. You need to read the words. I mean, read the poem, and then if that group of words, it is they are beginning. Okay, beginning. If that words are beginning with identical letters or identical sounds, it will be alliteration will be used. Identical letters, but it should create the same kind of similar kind of sounds. So when I say like nest and no, n sound is repeated. So in the poem you can see many kind of example, like stone, like sit a stone gentleman, like sit a stone. See, two words like sit and stone, they are put together like series of words, I could say, and they are beginning with the same consonant sound. Sir, sit a stone gentleman, just like that. Then great, solemn, and sad, sir sound again. Okay, so there are many examples in the poem. You can see that I have underlined that uh, you know that words like alliteration in that poem also. You can read that. That is nothing more about the poem. It's a very simple poem, very short poem. No inner meanings, I mean no deeper meanings towards it. A very small poem by James Reeves. And to appreciate the poem, like figures of speech is also like only one figure of speech is used here, that is alliteration. And what is alliteration, that you need to know. That is like group of words. It will be put together, it will be arranged together actually, and it will be beginning with the same phonetic sound, beginning with the same phonetic sound actually. Okay, and famous example is like she sells seashells by the seashore. And in this poem you could come across many this alliteration. Why? Because most of the time they have used this word stone in the poem also. Okay, thank you.